Hey y'all, it's Laura and I have another multi-photo Monday layout for you today. We have 4 3x4 photos, and these were from a family day at my husband's work, and the kids got to try out a lot of really cool machinery. Not really try it out, but they got to climb up into the machines and the airplanes, and then they had some fun activities for the kids to do. They had a climbing wall and a racetrack, and so these are photos from that day. I actually have 4 layouts for this one event. Of course I do. So I'm just going to do one more page with 4 more photos because I can. So what I have here are some clouds from Felicity Jane's Brook collection. I'm almost done with this kit. This is the never-ending kit. It doesn't die. I still have a few papers left. These kits just go forever, especially when you get twice as much paper. Funny that. So anyway, I've fussy cut out these clouds from one of the papers. The background paper is a diagonal stripe, and I do have my photos following that diagonal stripe from top left to bottom right, just to help guide your eye through the layout. And that's just a little visual trick you can use on your layouts. And I'm just playing around with these at first. I'm just trying them out. I had no plan when I started this. Put the photos down. 2 of them, the ones that are more forward, are on dimensional adhesive. That way they do pop up a little bit and I can tuck a little bit more easily around them. And I think it also adds a little bit of interest to have some things popped up and not other things. That dimension is kind of cool in person. On video, it doesn't show up quite so much, but in person it is a very cool effect. So again, I'm just playing with these clouds, and while I'm playing away, I would love to check in with you guys and see how you are enjoying Scraptember. Video a day has been tough, people, but we're getting there. We're doing good. I've made it this far. We've made it halfway through the month. We're working through the other half of the month now, and I'm really excited that we're gonna get this done. I do have some really fun videos coming up for you guys that I hope you're going to love. And yeah, I think this multi-photo Monday is definitely going to be continuing beyond September for me. I'm not sure if the other ladies will want to continue doing it, but I definitely will. I think it's been a lot of fun, and I am loving having so many photos on a layout. I mean, you get into a groove of doing 1 photo, 2 photos, and that's just how you roll. But when you have events like this where you have literally 30, 40 photos that I wanted to scrap, I didn't scrap that many, but I wanted to. I could have done an entire album on just this one event because there was so many awesome activities that the kids got to participate with. So now I've brought in some of this branding strip, and I'm going to use this to create small borders on the bottom of each of the photos. And at this point, I had thought that what I was going to do was have a stair-stepped title that went from that top left underneath of the photo and just stair-stepped down. So that is something that if you want to try is a really cool look. And I had thought that I was going to do that. But when I got to roughly this area, I felt like there wasn't a design element to this page, and it was just 4 photos, and if all I did was throw a title on here, I wasn't going to be satisfied with how the overall layout looks. But first, I found these little rubber charms. They were in the kit, and I have struggled to use them because they're in the shape of raindrops. And I did use them on one pocket page underneath of a little cloud, like rain. But on this page, I'm using them like enamel dots and just sporadically putting them all around the clouds. As I was stumped with them. I mean, how many layouts do you need to put raindrops on? So now that that is done, I am going to add my design feature with a bowl because technology does not exist, or at least it's not necessary for this. Used a large bowl from my kitchen as a stencil and went ahead and drew some lines. Then I'm going to take my little pokey tool from Amy Tan and poke out some stitching spots for my stitching. And then, you guessed it, we're going to do some hand stitching on this layout. I thought that bringing in a large circle with the hand stitching and then putting my title around the edge would add more of a design feel to the layout and just make it look a little bit more interesting to me. As you can see, my circle's not too bad. It's a little wonky, but it's not terrible. Always a good thing, right? So at first I thought to put part of my title across the top of the circle and the bottom would have the other part of the title. But when I got it into place with these gorgeous puffy alphabet, once I got these in place, I realized there was just entirely too much empty space around the rest of the circle, and it was because of the size of the circle, it just didn't work. So what I decided to do is bring those down to the bottom of the circle, and I'm going to fit the entire title, which is rather long with these size alphabets. But I'm going to fit that entire title on the bottom, and then I'll do a small design feature up at the top, just to give it a little bit of interest, so it's not just an empty circle hanging out at the top, you know. We've got something going on up there. So my title is Everything is Awesome! And if you're, familiar with children, you may have heard that line before on the Lego Movie, which happens to be one of my kids' absolute favorite movies of all time. And I thought it was appropriate for this because literally every time they turned around, there was something really cool to do. And the kids had a blast. They got to see the cockpit of an airplane. They got to stand in front of the giant engine turbine things. You could tell I'm the technical one in the household, or not. And they got to have so much fun at this activity. So I'm going to add a little bit of journaling on these small tags, which also come in the kit. I didn't feel the need to do a lot of extensive journaling on this. I feel like the pictures do explain the story. Also, there's 3 other layouts with a little bit of journaling on each of them, so altogether they really do tell the story. Felicity Jane's ephemera pieces, which is where these little tags came from, have kind of a glossy top to them. So when I flipped it over to put tape on the back, as you can see, left a little impression on my media mat. So now I've added these stars at the top right and one of these lovely gold stars because who doesn't like a touch of gold everywhere? And some Heidi Swap Color Shine in gold and splatter splatter everywhere. So you know this is coming to an end soon once the Heidi Swap Color Shine comes out. I hope you enjoyed this layout, guys. I really appreciate you sticking with me through Scraptember. I'm excited. We're getting so close to 1,000 subscribers, which means giveaway time is coming up soon. And I'm very, very excited about that. So this layout is done. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And until next time, bye.